Okay, we're live. Let me click comments. I don't see no comments yet.
Welcome everybody. This is my first live, so can you tell if there's anybody here? Can you just let us know you hear us okay? They'll be here once I share it out. It'll be okay. It'll be okay.
It might take a second. Well, hello everybody. If in case you're watching
on the replay, hello.
Yes, Mystical Love and Light here. My co-host is Drew, which is my sidekick and my tech person. And we have a special guest today, and that is October Rain Rocks. Is that correct? How to say it?
Yeah. October or Mars.
Okay, Suze here.
Hi.
Hello, Suze.
Hi, Suze.
We'll give it a few minutes for see if a few more people pop in before we start the interview. We're going to be doing an interview. I'm going to be asking October some questions on her path, how she got started and where she's at now and things like that. And let me turn this down.
We're being invaded.
Turn it down. That's my husband telling me he's doing his pre-trip. He's headed out. And so yeah, because a lot of people like to know how we get started on our path. It doesn't matter if you consider yourself a witch, a spiritual being, a holy spiritual person. See, I consider myself a holy spiritual person. Not that there's anything wrong with anything else. That's just how I call myself. Mm-hmm. Other people, I think, Drew, you call yourself a witch, right? Yes.
Yeah, I call myself a witch, but I do watch what I say to certain people when there's other people around, though. Yeah. I'm just sharing out. That's it, shared out.
Yeah, I live in a Bible belt here. We have everybody
as well. Yeah.
That's a friend of mine there, Lauren LF King. Hi, sis.
Right. Okay. Welcome, Lauren. Welcome, everybody. We'll just give it a wee minute and then we'll share it. I've just shared it out again, so hopefully our sisters and things will all come in.
Okay. Yeah, it's so weird that it's 4 o'clock my time in the middle of the day and it's nighttime for you. Well, both of you.
I know, it's crazy.
I know. I had to keep an eye on the time. I'm like used to parting about at nighttime, and I was like, oh my God.
Do you have children that you have to attend to?
No. October? Well, my son's an adult. He's got special needs. He lives in his own house now with support. So for the first time in some time, I don't have him in the same house. So it's weird.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't. All my kids are grown and moved away. They're in different states. I just have my little dog, and she whines a lot when she doesn't get to come in here and sit on my lap.
No.
I'll tag a few people in it. I'll tag Linda in it as well. Our sister Linda.
Yeah, I'm just waiting, giving you time to send your deals out. Yeah. I don't know how to do all of that since I'm new at doing all this whole live thing.
You'll be okay. You will learn. I mean, that's the one thing. You do learn pretty quick. We'll see if our Amora can come as well. Right? That's us posted it out to a few other sisters. Okay. Yeah. So I was looking at that on your channel, October, that you did find your son a house and you had to do it all up from scratch. Is that right?
Yeah, it was a nightmare. The house he's in right now is not a forever house. We were in a private let and the landlord was selling up, and he wouldn't have coped going through the homelessness sector. Like, as you know, as a family, we that wouldn't have been able to something he would cope with. So basically, we went through the local authorities and he got a property, but they tell you to go and look at it and they say, you know, this is ready to move into. And when we got offered it, it was like, you must be joking. It's falling to bits. So we had to do a lot to it.
I know, I've
Okay.
seen that on the chat. I mean, up here, our council, I mean, our council is Lanarkshire Council, as you know, probably where I stay. But up your way, I would have thought they would have been better off, because the closer you get to Glasgow and such places, usually the housing is better. So I was quite surprised. Usually our houses are all painted and things up here before we move into them.
The housing association properties are more like that, but the council properties, they give you a paint pack and tell you to go on with it. And my son's needs are such that he can't have a neighbour attached onto him because he jumps about. He is autistic.
Right.
So he stims and rocks and jumps up and down and stuff. So it means that if you've got an attached neighbour, it's problematic. So he's got a detached place, but it's just, he needs an amenity bungalow, let's just say.
Right, mm-hmm.
So that's going to take a bit of time. We'll get there.
Mm-hmm. Just about it. Thank you, Paranormal Search, for coming in. It's our first live on Mystical Love and Lights channel, so we're trying to get our out searched. We're trying to get our sent out there.
Yes, hello, Paranormal Search. Thanks for coming in. We haven't started yet. Technically, we're giving it a few minutes to hopefully a couple more people will come in, and then we'll start asking questions. October is our special guest today. And of course, Drew is my co-host. Whenever Danny comes on, Danny's my co-host.
Check out Paranormal Search while you are here, guys. He's got an amazing channel over there in the US. He has went to quite a few places. I do believe, not going to say the Monroe House in case I was wrong, but he's went to a couple of the big places in America where there's activity. So definitely check him out. Auntie likes to go live, guys. So there he's got another live stream to join him on. So definitely check him out. I'm going to try and get his link.
I'm trying to bring this up on my phone, so if I need to turn anybody blue, I can do that.
Never thought of that.
So
yeah, well, you're here. I don't know if Dobie said she was going to the pictures tonight. I'm not sure if this was tonight or last night. She was going to the cinema. Right, I'll grab your link. Search. Right, okay, copy link.
Okay. Alrighty, I got that up now. I don't know where to set the phone at. Let's set it right there.
There we go. Yeah, I'm blue, sis. Yeah, I'm blue. You got a live tonight. Oh, brilliant. And the next two locations that are coming up next year. It's brilliant, guys. He's got one of the channels that he's just starting to go to all the different big places and things. So it's good to watch everybody's journey. Definitely help support him on that if you like all the bigger locations.
Okay, Paranormal Search. I made you a moderator.
He has got other places on his channel as well, not just the big places. So if you like all that as well, it's all there for you. Do you want to just start there as soon as that's
Sure. Sure. Okay. Are you ready, October?
Yep, shoot.
Okay. All righty. Okay. What title do you give yourself in your path?
Do you mean like a witchy name or my what I describe my path as title wise?
Both. That'll be fine.
Most people know me in the witchy path as October or Octi. And other than that, I don't have any witchy names or anything. The name October really stems from my birth month. And so that's just stuck since, I don't know, quite a while now, for I would say 12 years. So that's about as far as anything exciting goes with the name anyway.
Well, good. Well, I like your name anyway, because my birth is in October also.
Yeah.
I'm a May baby.
Autumn. I'm an autumn baby.
All righty. You ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Okay. At what age did you start your path?
Well, basically for me, I would say that when I was really young, I had a real affinity to nature, and I grew up in a fishing village on the northeast coast of Scotland,
Wow.
right beside a lighthouse. And I used to walk along there when I was young and draw and write stories about the animals and stuff that were there. And I think I was tapped in at a young age. I didn't physically start practicing until in my, I would probably say, later 30s. And that's because I guess it was just one of those things where I didn't really know what I was or if there was any name for it, you know. And then as I got older, I started to think, maybe that is me. And that's how it really came about as far as the practice side of things goes. I've been on a path now since 2012, my current path since 2012.
Well,
Good stuff.
yeah, because like me, I mean, and I guess that's why I don't call myself a witch, because I started when I was like 10 years old doing stuff. So the word witch was never technically in my vocabulary at that time or anything. It was just a lot of the spiritual stuff that I would do and work with people and start healing people that like had already gone to all the doctors that they wanted to go to. And then I would think to myself, I wonder if I could do anything. Yeah. So, all righty. So the next question.
I think what the go-to name though, isn't it? Everybody decides which, whereas you've got mystic and everything, so it's really just your personal choice, I believe.
Yeah.
What you want to call yourself, you know?
Because we all do the same thing. We all do the same thing. Might do it differently. Right, exactly. Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you ever, I'm looking at my paper, for everybody who just came in, I have a list to ask October. Okay, number 3. Do you have any spiritual gifts or abilities? And if so, what are they?
I always have to check the words of these because I'm terrible with names. Right. I have 2 things, which are clairaudience and clairalliance, which is the hearing things and the smelling things. So a lot of times with me, when things are coming around energetically wise, it tends to be I hear or smell things. It's been like that since before I knew what my path was. I just didn't know what it was then, you know, and it stems back from about 8 or 9 years old. And I think the catalyst for me was when my granny passed away, and she's been with me since. And a lot of those things have come about with remembering different things with her, and that's I think how it tapped in. Like the sense of smell, for example, was like she used to be a smoker, so I'd always smell the smoke around when she was there, her perfume. And it sounds cliche, but that is what I used to do as far as picking up on certain things went. And sound is, I hear things in my ear sometimes, like it can be words, it can be whispering, it can be sounds, and I don't hear it all the time, but when I do, it's usually quite clear.
Well, see, so you did actually start way back too, as being really young, way back. Hello, Dobby Socks, welcome in. Yeah.
I just didn't know it then, you know. I think it's still the same for a lot of people when they're younger. They may be tapped into certain things, certain energies, but they might not know what that is, which I think was the case with me.
Right. Because even like
smells
you
quite
explained,
a big part of me.
Yeah.
I can smell, sometimes smells trigger a lot in me. My ex-partner, for example, used to wear that Lynx Africa all the time. And he used to wear the Versace blue jeans. And at the time, it was at Christmas time, and we went through a really, really bad breakup. It was really traumatic because he had got another girl pregnant, but that's beside the point. So that was a traumatic time for me.
That's when you need to do your...
See now, yeah, but I wasn't a witch then. But see now, whenever I smell Versace blue jeans or Africa Lynx, it triggers that in my brain, still to this day. So smell for me, I don't know if it's just when it's traumatic it's maybe got that effect on me. But yeah, definitely, it links Africa triggers something in me. So that's interesting you say that, October.
There's another thing as well. I don't know if you've heard this. I've got a thing called scent synesthesia. Now what that is, I did a video on it on my own channel, and it basically means this is going to sound really weird. I smell colours. Does that sound bizarre? Probably.
Really?
No, it does not. It does not smell weird.
I didn't even know there was a name for it. I didn't know there was a name for it. And then one day I was talking to somebody and she goes, "Oh, you've got synesthesia." I was like, "What?"
Well, yeah, that's interesting because I had seen something on TV one time about colors, and it's like that is so out of the norm of thinking of what kind of abilities people has.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I see things, so I don't have to smell them or anything.
Do you remember in the Coven meeting, Mystical Loving Light, I said to you all to try and think how colours make you feel? Like when you're looking at a colour, don't just think, "Oh, that's a pretty colour." Look at the colour and really, really search within you how it makes you feel. So that could be another stage of that. It's like as well as when you're looking at a colour, trying to think how it emotionally makes you feel and what power it could, if any, arise in you. So that's another way of trying to maybe test your abilities is when you're looking at a certain colour, see if you can evoke some sort of smell reaction as well. So we could maybe all try that as a group in the Coven meeting one night.
I kind of feel it's almost primal in some respects. It's like, it's like stamped in your DNA from way back when. It kind of feels primal to me, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it could be. It's interesting though.
Yeah, very interesting. Hi, Danny. Danny's in.
Right back.
Okay, so
their searches link up again, guys. If you're having to go paranormal search, whose name is G, please keep hitting his link, everybody that comes in, because he's got a great channel. Sorry, sis, on you go.
I'm adding Dobby Socks as a moderator, and Danny. Let me get his on here.
Uncle.
Okay, they're blue. I gotta have some blue people in here.
No one hear you say that. He's Celtic. He likes green. Cause arguments in this house. Rangers
really?
Blue and green. Yeah.
So yeah, see, I don't have to worry about smelling stuff or seeing colors because I actually see this. I always say I see the spirits, but it's really when they want me to see them, which is a lot. Especially if they're not good ones, they always want to be like right in my face. So I ignore them, hope they'll go away. Because if I make eye contact, they know that I see them. Then the ball just starts rolling. Oh, she can see me. Let's see what else I can do.
Wow.
That's always out of the house. I have hedge prayers all over my house and my property. It's when I actually leave the property is when they're like, but I just try to ignore them. It's hard because I used to tell people when they had somebody with them, like a loved one, they were trying to communicate to tell their loved one hi. And a couple of times I would say something to them, but I kind of got away from that because I don't want people looking at me like I'm crazy. And then they start asking 50,000 things, And so I just kind of steer away from, unless it's something that like one time this lady was going to get ready to cross the street or something. Well, she had somebody with her saying, don't cross. So I actually approached the lady and I said, please don't cross the road. You have one of your family members, friends, somebody that's with you and saying, don't cross the road. And she looked at me crazy, but she stood there. She didn't cross the road. So shortly after that, a car come rushing through there. And she just looked at me and I looked at her and said, have a nice day. And I walked away. But
okay, bye-bye.
Yeah, so I try not to say anything to people. Okay,
people must be shocked though. I mean, sometimes if you're saying, can I tap them on the shoulder? Can I just tell you, George, that your old Auntie Isabel is actually standing over your shoulder, wanting me to tell you your girlfriend is pregnant. You know what they say?
Well,
I'm
see,
not telling them.
and sometimes it might be they're trying to tell them they're going to have a heart attack or something.
God.
But I'm not passing that on because me giving them the message might be what's going to cause them to have a heart attack. So
Exactly.
I'm like, no, I'm not going there. So,
Yes.
all righty. So the next question will be, this is fun. So the next question will be, let's see, October, what part of your path do you like the most?
I like I'm very, very nature based. A lot of people you see say, oh, I'm into the modern witchcraft. I'm completely the opposite. I love all the really ancient, raw, down to the nitty gritty earth stuff, and always have been. And that's the part I love the most. And my marine wildlife conservation protection magic as well is something that I really have a strong affinity towards. So basically, nature, getting into the elements and working out with things outside and bringing those inside too, I would say.
Well, you know,
You've got on,
that's
Uncle Danny.
interesting because you hear things. Yeah, you hear things that you wouldn't even think about how other people do things. Hey, Michelle. Michelle's in here. Chasing
Yeah,
Moses
it's lovely
Spectors is
to
on.
hear it.
He came in on his other one too. I need to highlight
Brilliant.
that one too. Let
Yeah,
me.
but when he's in his Danny Wolf as well. That is Uncle Danny's other channels, guys. The Danny Wolf one is the one where he does his strongman on it. The one that he was on was the Danny Explores or whatever it was, is the one where he shows you how to do bushcraft. And the Chasing Bones Inspectors is the one that he does all his paranormal on and all his teachings. So if you want to try and click all those links, guys, just as we're talking, that would really be appreciated.
Yeah, because see, I didn't know until Danny had mentioned it on one of your lives, Drew, about the blue thing, you know, that you're always talking about moderating. So that way they don't have to put up their link. They just click on their name and go straight to the channel, but yet they don't lose the live. And they have to come back and search for it. Yeah, they just subscribe, hit the notification bell, come right back to it. I thought that was cool because I didn't know it. Yep.
I didn't know that to the other week there either, so it's a good wee tip.
Yeah, so
Right back. Okay, Michelle.
Punjux here, however you say his name.
Panka.
Huh?
Panka.
Panka. Okay, so just the J is silent.
Silent, yeah.
Where did he go? Okay.
He's there.
Alrighty.
Uncle Danny just calls him Pan, so why don't you just call him Pan, sis?
Yeah, that'd be easy for me. Okay.
Welcome in, Pan. We'll all call you Pan, okay?
Yeah. Hey, Pan. Okay, so the next question would be, why do you think you chose this path?
I don't think I chose this path. I think it chose me. And
that's good.
I think that it was one of those things that it's kind of morphed over the years, you know. I kind of liken my path to a river going through a big rocky pathway in the water, which is it's had to meander through all the different rocks and stuff to get to a certain point, and it's still flowing and it's still going strong, but it's gone through many different sort of directions to get to where I am now. And
it's just really
yeah, I think it chose me basically.
Well, that's interesting because I was telling Drew when we were backstage, a lot of people ask me, how do I know that that's my path? How do I know that that's what I want? Well, if you're drawn to it, and like you said, it picks you, because then you're going to start noticing things you've never noticed before. You're going to start feeling things you've never felt before. You're going to be like a sponge and want to soak it all up. That alone will tell you that is your path, even if it's for a while. And then maybe later you decide not to. But for that time, that's what it is.
Definitely.
Oh, yep. Okay, let's see. I think we just did that one. Okay. Do you openly tell people about yourself?
I don't directly come out and say to people, particularly if I've just met them, you know, but I do like it. So if somebody's curious and says something, notices something on me, or like I wear battle jackets a lot that have got like some crazy patches on them, like witchy stuff on them that I've made myself from t-shirts and that. Cut the t-shirts or bits of old t-shirts and then sew them onto my jackets. So sometimes you'll get people and they'll say, "Oh, what does that mean?" Oh, I recognize that for something, and it's a conversation starter. So somebody might say, "Are you pagan?" Or, you know, I recognize that symbol, and it starts off a conversation. So if somebody does ask me, are you a practitioner? Are you a witch? Are you into magic? I'll just say, yes, I am. And I won't delve into it unless I get asked specific questions. Because I don't know, like for example, I had a girl asked me in Starbucks once, and she was with her mum, and I had the funny feeling her mum had a particular path herself, and I think she was a bit like about it. So I think she was a bit wary of her daughter saying to me, you know, what is this and what is that? So I just said, yes, I am, and kind of left it at that. So I didn't offend anybody because, like I say,
Right.
I'm always mindful about, you know, just because it's my path doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be everybody's cup of tea, you know?
Right.
Yeah, sure. Everybody does it different anyway, so.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't say nothing to nobody. I think they just kind of figure it out because sometimes they'll just flat out ask me, questions, and just kind of
Sometimes
go from there.
I don't hide it.
Sometimes other practitioners will ask you, like other practitioners have come to me, "Hi, Dobbies." Sometimes other practitioners know. They just pick up vibes off you and they're like,
Right.
"Hi, sister. Hi, brother." You know what I mean? So,
yeah. I think
Yeah.
another witch knows another witch. There's certain things, I think, when you see people coming out of supermarkets and things, I've noticed it in Edinburgh, where you'll see people kind of just shake themselves and things, and you can tell that's them shaking energies off it. Like I'm talking about coming out of Greyfriars Cemetery and things. You can just tell that they're shaking off the energies, you know, so you just kind of know that they know a little bit about spiritualism and the occultism, you know.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the vibes, the energy is just all connecting.
Mm-hmm.
I had to turn the heater down because it's freezing cold in here, and I turned this thing full blast earlier to start getting warm in here, and that's starting to get too warm. So I turned because with all of my oils and everything, I have to keep it, pretty cool in here,
Mm-hmm.
cold to cool in here, because so they don't go bad real fast.
Yep.
Okay, so
Welcome
let's
in,
see.
Christopher. Go Squad Scotland.
Oh yeah, hey Chris. Let me put him as moderator. I'm trying to remember all the ones that you have on yours, Drew, because then I know they're cool.
Oh.
If they're on yours, they're cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm proud of you all for coming here. Thank you, guys.
Yes, thank you everybody for coming in. If you're just coming in, we've got Drew as my co-host, and we have a special guest, October. We're interviewing her on her path, asking her questions to see how she got started, where she's at now, things like that. Okay, so the next one would be, do you feel a conflict between your path and your beliefs?
Not at all. Like I say, from a young age, I was always what I would call a nature baby anyway. So I think a lot of that just followed me over time. And then once I eventually said, oh, I have a particular path, there wasn't really anything different other than I had a name for it. So I guess it's just one of those things where I just it morphed with me. Like, it's hard to explain.
Yours. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because a lot of people do have a conflict. Like, okay, I made my communion as a I made my communion as a Catholic. I've been baptized as a Baptist, and I don't go to church. I feel like I have a connection to my Creator. And a lot of people won't agree with this, and it's okay because we're not here to judge anybody or anything. But I kind of feel like I don't want a third person telling me their like how they interpret things. I want to find out for myself. And
Yeah.
so with that, I always had a conflict because I'm like, okay, my creator might not be the same as the next person to me's creator, because we're all going to think of our creator slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had a big struggle with that, especially with my brother. He's passed away now, bless his heart, but he was an ordained minister. So he was like complete opposite of me,
Mm-hmm.
complete opposite. And
Did he
so
always
it
think
was,
he had to convert you back to God and things? Was he always trying?
yeah, yeah. And his God may be different than my God, you know. So if I say I believe in God, it doesn't mean I believe in your God. It means I have my own beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
And I always try to get that across to him. But when it get to the point that we'd be like, we just kind of
Right, I'll go home.
yeah. Well, he couldn't go home. He lived here with me because I took care of him.
Me too, though, but my church is Mother Nature. My church is in the middle of a cemetery.
Okay, so let's see here now. Does your family accept you?
This is a weird one because like there's no aversion as such. It's just I think they just think it's a bit weird. Like when I was growing up, I was always kind of like the black sheep. It was like my sister was like in all the fashionable things and the name brands and all these big things, and I was shopping in charity shops, and I would have incense going, and my sister would be like, "Why does your room smell of mothballs?" Meaning incense. Like she never ever got it. It was like, why, you know, it was weird. And then as we got older, it's like I don't think they get it, but they don't get it at the same time, if that makes sense.
See, that's the opposite in my house. My big sister, when we were teenagers, was the kind of gothy, rockery one, and I was the Duran, whatever, you know, with the pink and the blue and things. And I totally switched. That's crazy, isn't it? How you can switch in life? Because I was the opposite. I was the bloody clown.
I picture Drew as the wild child, the rebel, you know, don't tell me what to do kind of person growing
Very
up.
much so. Very much so.
That's the way I picture you.
I think when you grow up in a fishing village as well, you're kind of like if you're not like in with all the in things that everyone's in at the time, you kind of stand out as being a bit not weird, but you know what I mean. So like I was the complete opposite of a lot of people in my village. So it was kind of like nobody had a label or anything. It was just like, you know, I was a bit like Wednesday Addams without all the accoutrements, if you like.
Yes, October does have a channel link. Let me see.
Then I'll put it up for you, sis.
Here. Let me. Okay, so because I can make her a moderator, and they can pick it right up off of her. I know she put something right at the beginning.
Yeah.
I don't think I have my channel up.
It's okay. I'll do it, sis. I'll find it.
Okay.
I'll find you.
I thought you had commented to LF King.
Yeah, that was that's not my YouTube channel. That's my email address name.
Oh, okay. So Drew, you're gonna put it up then?
Yeah, I'll put it up for you, sis.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okie dokie, cool. Okay, I'm giving her a minute to do that before we go to the next one.
Laura's channel.
Thank you.
No problem.
Cool. Okay, now let's see here. Number 9. Do you practice any workings or spells?
Yeah, I do a thing called my dailies. It sounds pretty boring, but so what that is that every day I wake up and I will light particular candles, incense or wax melts. I will spray down my deity statues and things like that, and then I do the same thing at night before I go to bed. That's like I've got umpteen sacred spaces in this house. It's crazy. I've got my my main deities sacred spaces, which I work with the Morrigan, And I also work with the Scottish aspect of the kayak. Some people know this deity or this entity as the Cailleach, but that is more connected with the Irish variation of her. So I have my Morrigan main altar, my Morrigan sacred fireplace. I have my Marine Wildlife Conservation Protection area, my ancestor altar, and I have a little bit for like gratitude, and it's basically just candles and incense of a gratitude area for people that have brought me joy in my life, like writers and artists, and I just light a candle. That's all it is. It's nothing exciting. So that's what I do every day to day. Spells are as and when required. Some spells are like I'll, do something that's maybe quicker. And other times I do things that take a long period of time. So you're feeding the spells so that it may take weeks, it might take months. And I also give offerings and things to certain deities as well.
Yeah, it's like me. I've got 2 or 3 altars for different things. But
Yeah,
I'm not to say too much because my interview is next week, so I won't say too much.
Yeah. I told Drew, for everybody listening, I told Drew, you can talk all you want, say whatever you want. Just be careful what you say because I got to interview you next.
I won't give away too much of my secrets.
Okay, Drew, before we go on with October, did you read Ghost Squad's comment? He said he can't see yours.
Yeah, there was having a problem on Ghost Squad Scotland's channel with me commenting, but I noticed tonight, Christopher, that I was been able. I asked Uncle Danny in your comments on your premiere if he could see my comment, and he said yes. So I think it's fixed, whatever you did, Christopher. Okay.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
you got it squared away. Okay. All righty, cool then. Okay, I wanted to make sure that you saw that.
Yeah.
Okay. The next question. What did you know? Let me see here. How did you know it's what you wanted in life?
I didn't. It was organic. It was one of those things that just kind of happened. And like I say, my path has just kind of evolved. And like I say, when I was younger, I was just a nature baby and a nature kid. And I lived right beside the, where my house was, overlooked the Grampian Mountains. And I walked along a lighthouse road and we had the North Sea and the South Esk River going into the North Sea. So I'd walk along there and I was really in touch with the ocean from a young age. And that was my stepping stone. So gradually over time, it's the same as the other question, which is my path just grew. And as that grew, that made me think, right, okay, this is for me. This is who I am,
Right.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Cool.
I think you do get an understanding of it, though, even if it's not the same as everybody else's way, like the same as you've read in the books that you've watched everybody else do. I think you get a kind of grip on what your life needs. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not just one way down here, there, and there. Like, it shows you in the books and things to pick a path. Sometimes it just isn't a path, it's a windy road. You've just got to accept it, I think.
Yeah. Because some things are there as a just as a, what's the word I'm looking for, as a guide, and then it's up to you to put what you feel into it.
Yeah,
it's almost like don't let nobody tell you that's the wrong way, because your way is the right way, no matter what way it is that's coming from you, from inside you.
Yep.
Yeah.
I always see it like a cartographer's map, which is like like in an old ship where the ship guides you, like where you're going. That's how I've always seen it, kind of like that. Like, so I've been kind of guided. Like when I first started my path, being physically hands-on, I mean, I did the Wheel of the Year. I was more, I guess if you want to be stereotypically classed as Wiccan, I suppose. And then as I developed in my path, I realized that wasn't me. And that was because I don't really connect with the Sabbats, as in the Sabbats. I kind of go by the heartbeat of the earth, which is I've noticed when I lived in my other house, which is about 20 minutes in the car from here, the energies were completely different there than they are 20 minutes up the road to where I am now. So
Right.
I felt that I go by what I see, what I feel right around me. And so that's how, like, you know how like your sabbats are kind of around a certain time frame. And I always found that what I started to notice was the sabbats were not in tune with the heartbeat of the earth as it is now.
Exactly. I've been saying it for months. We're a season behind.
It's totally different. It's not in tune. Like the heartbeat of the earth is not in tune with the sabbats or whatever way around you want to put it.
It's definitely not. We're about a month out.
I told her you gotta get Drew riled up. She's like,
the books don't listen. I'm going to make my own.
That's a good idea.
The Scottish way, because our weather is and planets seem to be totally different.
okay, so the next one, number 12. We only have 17 questions, so we're on number 12.
That's good.
Okay, number 12. Have you ever, and I'm asking this for a reason because I know what I do. Okay, number 12. Have you ever put bad juju on someone when you were mad at them, whether it was justified or not?
Well, the way I look at it is this: is energies energies take over basically. So like you can like people. It's like people don't seem to get sometimes that. Sometimes as a practitioner, you can think something, and things can happen with regards to things starting to go down a certain route. So with me, the way I look at it is I do a lot of empathy and apathy magic, which is if somebody's being like a horse's butt, basically, I will do something to see like an open your eyes spell. So something like with regards to instead of letting people just hear what's being said, as in listen to what's being said. So in other words, see and hear, and then choose your direction on that. So then they kind of make their own path, if that makes sense. So then you're not doing anything. You're just saying, open your eyes, open your ears. And that tends to work a lot of times.
I'm not even going to say a word. I'll keep it for next week.
Okay, I'll say mine. That was the reason I asked that, to see if anybody else was doing this. Okay, with me. Now, I used to do a lot of workings for people. And I used to tell them, as long as it's justified, I will do it, because I was the one doing the work for them. Yeah. But without anybody else being involved, if someone makes me mad, I have to be so careful with my mouth and my thoughts, because if they make me that mad, whatever comes out of my mouth, I guarantee you within a month it's going to happen. And it could be bad. And it could be bad because it's been bad before. Now, was it justified? Apparently, they made me that mad that at the moment it was justified that it flew out of my mouth. But it wasn't like made me mad on a one-time instance. It was a continuous thing that I was like, trying to stay away, back off. It was just a continue till I just said enough is enough, and, just had it out with them, and what came out of my mouth happened. So that's the reason I had asked that question, to see if anybody else was able to do that, I think
as well, I've asked that a couple of times when I've been, doing certain magical workings. And the exact phraseology I got in my head was energies act accordingly, which is
that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, people can do or say things where you literally just have to say certain things where they will actually, their own path will be put into practice of its own being, if that makes sense. And don't get me wrong. I mean, there's times where I've had to do certain things, and it's been more of a case of protection work and preventing anything from being a problem to me rather than being a problem to other people, if that makes sense.
No,
Right.
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Tune in
So
for Jan next week, guys.
Deflection and reflection is what I would say.
Sometimes the universe
Yeah.
has its own way of dealing with things as well, though. I
Yeah.
mean, sometimes you can say, right, I'm not going to do nothing. Calm down, count to 10. But then you find in a couple of weeks something's happened to that person or something's happening. It is the opposite of what they wanted. And you think, well, I didn't, it's still change. So sometimes the universe takes over anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Because like one time now, it wasn't for just like crap stuff. One time it was because like October said protection of a family member. And then the second time was protection for animals. That without saying too much,
Of course.
it had to do with protection of, those two in separate situations. Because
Right.
the family member could not protect himself. And the second time it pertained to several different animals that also couldn't protect themselves. And,
Well, of course. Yeah, I think I know what you mean.
when someone is that mean to do, certain, things, then I'm going to just take so much and then step in and run my mouth.
Yeah, that's who we are. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm curious to see what Drew's going to say next week. And everybody, Drew's going to be on next week. So y'all are going to have to come on and listen and see what she says.
Yeah.
The next one. Do you find that people in general tend to be drawn toward you?
I think that's something you'd have to ask other people rather than me. I think that sometimes your energies can attract other energies. But as far as whether I attract people to me, I don't have a clue. I don't have a clue. The only thing I like energetically, magically, maybe, but like out with that, I'm just me. And if people gel with me, fantastic. And if they don't, oh well.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. See, I do. I find people that need healing. It's like I'm a magnet that they come to me and, ask me, all kinds of questions and what they need to do and how they can come up with their own stuff without having to go to the doctor. I never tell somebody not to go to a doctor. I always tell them if you're still going to a doctor, go to a doctor. I'm not going to tell you not to. But, if I tell you a certain thing to do and you're on medication, then you need to verify with the doctor first, because a lot of doctors don't believe in, what we do. But at the same time, if they believe in it, then it may help them more. They're obviously coming to me for a reason, so I try to put that out there. But yeah, I find that a lot with me.
I get that a lot with
Okay.
animals. I do get that a lot with animals,
Yeah.
and that's why I do the marine wildlife conservation. I get so bugged when people dump their rubbish and stuff in the water, and all that kind of stuff, and you see evidence of it everywhere. And my phraseology, people that know me will know my phraseology well. When I see things like that, I say it bugs my happiness. So it's like, it's like that bugs my happiness, so I have to do something about it. So I always do the marine wildlife conservation magic because of that, because I can't stand seeing any living being being hurt or injured because of what other people do.
I know.
Right. See, and that's where my second thing came in that I was mentioning. Because it involved a lot of animals, what was going on, and I just finally had to put a stop to it. And actually, when I said to them what I said to them, it took like 1 week, and that was the end of that.
Good. Sometimes you need to step in.
Yep. Oh, did you see Danny's comment? He says, once someone was gonna, let me see if I can
Yeah, you just
show.
click on it and you'll be able to put it up. There
Yeah.
you go.
Well, once someone was gonna try to hex me, LOL. The people he said, "Are you insane?" Yeah, because Danny would get back at him.
No, because Astro is his guide, and he's actually an elemental, and he would eat him.
Okay, let's see. Number 13. Do you find that people in oh, I already did that one. Let's see. Do you find people generally tend to draw to, okay, I already did that one. I think I kind of skipped one somewhere. Let's see. Do you oh yeah, okay, I did. So I'll back up one. Do you believe in karma or the boomerang effect?
Now I wrote this down because I've got really quite a bizarre way of thinking sometimes. Now where did I put it? Somewhere. I think I think it was the way I worded it. I wanted to kind of get across better. I can't find it anyway. Well, basically, it's not so much karma as such, but I do feel like I think we all vibrate at different levels of energy. We as human beings, animals, all living things, and I think that sometimes that can have a knock-on effect with regards to that, because at the end of the day, I think that it's almost like the universe has ways of knowing things. So like if you do something that's crazy, the way I look at it is sometimes the universe will just keep slapping your ass till you get to learn a lesson. You know, it's like, right, you've not learned that.
The visual came in my head.
Right, do that again. Yeah, do that again. Okay, you have not learned your lesson. Right, okay, do that again, type of thing. And like that's how I think that happens sometimes. But I also do a lot of astrological things too, and I think that's got a lot to do with it also. So yeah.
It's a bit of both, isn't it?
Danny says, I'm gonna just say on karma, dear, you missed this one.
On my list.
Oh, karma,
Well, you sent him his questions. There you go.
Okay, let's see. So now we'll get back in order. What would you like to say to someone that wants to follow your path?
Be you, never be afraid to be you. Like, I think when I first started on YouTube, because I'm quite quirky and stuff, and sometimes I come out with stuff in weird ways, and the first thing I thought was, oh my God, people are going to think she's absolutely, you know, a daft brush, you know. So when I first started on YouTube and that, I was like, oh my God, I don't know how to, you know, be, you know. But as somebody once told me, and another once told me, just be you, always be you, and don't let anybody dull your shine. You know, like you're not going to please everybody. Not everybody's going to, you know, love you or like you. Just be you, and as long as you're true to you and to your path, and you're not hurting anybody, and you're doing as good as you can, then you know that's the yeah.
That's. Because I always say, if they're not good for my soul, they don't need to be around me. They need to move on. Because it's like I don't have time to deal with negativity, you know, vampire people trying to suck the life out of you. And
I always think I can fix people, though. I've got a way in me that I think I can heal everybody, you know. And sometimes you've got to just walk away, though. It gets to a point with some people that you just have to walk away.
Because if they don't want to be healed, you're not going to heal them. It's that simple.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Very true.
It's almost like you have to have their blessing. I've had people come to me and ask me if I could do a working for a such and such person, you know, say to get rid of a bad habit or something. And I'm like, do they want to get rid of the bad habit? Well, no, that ain't going to do no good. They got to want it.
Yeah.
You know, I always say, why would the creator help you do something that you don't even want to do yourself? If you can't take the time to to heal yourself, why would he take the time to help you? You
Yeah, I
know, it's
get
like
that.
if you just have a little bitty teeny weeny speck in your body that says, yes, I need help. That's all it's going to take.
Yes, and
Mhm.
that's the
You
hard
know,
part is reaching out. Believe me, that's the very
yeah,
hard part is reaching out and admitting it.
Mhm.
exactly. Okay, let's see here. I'm kind of glancing at the things over here too. Drew's doing really good. My co-person, my co-host is doing good keeping up with all this chat stuff.
Trying to keep quiet. So this is distracting me.
All righty. Number 15. Um, there is so much negativity around the word witch, witchcraft, or any word that suggests having any kind of spiritual connection or gift. What would you say to ease people's fear?
um, Basically, just like don't listen to other people's negative perceptions of things. Learn for yourself. You know, like if somebody says something to you, don't just go, "Oh, right, well, that must be true." Then, you know, learn yourself about what these, you know, what things are to do with it. And you'll, a lot of people find, I've found anyway, that, you know, they'll be like, I always thought witches were this way, or I always thought it was negative, or I always thought it was bad. And then when they start figuring out, they're like, oh my God, it's actually very nature based. It's like, well, yeah, exactly. You know, a lot of people
Yeah.
think that it is a certain way. It's quite, I guess it stems back from way back in the day, you know, where people just got it drummed into their head that this is this and this is this, and you must believe this, or else you're dodgy, you know what I mean? Or you're the black sheep of this village or whatever. And I think that came
Yeah.
about from back in early times, you know. And so if you had your own opinion, your thoughts, then that could be bad for you. My saying is, pigeonholes are for pigeons, not people.
Nicely
Love it.
put. Nicely put. Okay. 16.
All
Is
right.
there anything else you would like to add to anything that we didn't cover?
I just, all I've said to that, I think when I was writing it down, was if anybody wants to ask anything, I'll try my best to answer it.
So hear that, everybody in the chat. If you want to ask any questions, just put it in the chat. She'll answer it. Okay. And while they're thinking if there's anything, the next one was, do you have a channel? But Drew's already put it up for you. Drew, do you want to do it again?
Yeah, I'll put it in again.
And if so, what is it? People, let me see. What did I put here?
That's it up, guys.
If so, yeah, okay, and okay, she's got it up, and so everybody, subscribe to October, please. There, she's got it up again, also.
Yeah, it's up, guys.
I'm already subscribed to you, so anybody
you.
have any questions whatsoever for October? She's willing to answer any of your questions.
I think as well, the only thing I'd like to say too is like one thing that's very dear to my heart, because I noticed Dobby's sock said something about animal rights support are very dear to her heart, which is for me, I'm very mindful when I do any spell workings that all remnants of spell workings, any offerings are all nature friendly. So I don't want to do a spell, for example, wildlife in my area, and then go and put an offering out that is going to be harmful and toxic to the animals that are there. So all my offerings and everything are all natural. I don't put anything into the water, anything into the rivers, anything into the seas. And if I do that, it's from that environment. So ocean-based connective materials, so that they're biodegradable, so like seaweed and other pebbles and stuff like that, so that when you put them back into the water, they are not contaminating the ocean. And that is a very dear thing to me, because you do get a lot of people that do practice I guess green witchery or sea witchery, but still believe in putting certain things into water courses and that. Now everybody's is up to them. I won't tell anybody what to do or how to practice their path, but for me that is very important to me, and I try to be as nature friendly as possible in my craft.
No plastics, no glass in the water, things like that. You know, I know all you had to do is just go to YouTube, click on the animals that's being saved, and see all the things that's happening to them, you know, that people do. And if you don't have tears in your eyes, you know, by the
Oh, it's
time
so
you
sad.
finish watching, yeah, it is. It's like so sad, especially watching the
Welcome,
seals and
Jodie.
stuff.
My
The
oldest son
two-
is in the chat, guys, who's Jodie McKerrigan. He says, hi, Andrina's watching from the living room. He's actually watching from my living room.
Hi.
That's my
Oh.
son, my oldest boy.
Cool. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay, so did anybody have anything else? Drew, or October, anything else y'all want to say or talk about while we have some people in here?
I'd love to ask you, October, have you ever been to any like coven meetings, or have you ever joined a coven or anything?
No, up till very recently, like I say, I was a full-time carer for my adult son. So
Right.
I did, even in the house doing certain things, I had to be quite mindful. On my channel, you'll see certain things, how I had to kind of mold my some of the things I was doing to suit the environment, you know. But you should be all right. That's natural.
Okay, yeah.
I had to put that up there.
Just Uncle Daniel.
Now, don't do it in a swimming pool. They have chemicals and it changes the color of the water and everybody sees what you're doing.
Also, Lars, I do believe that you like the paranormal investigating as well as the witchcraft. If you want to tell us a bit about any experiences you've ever had with paranormal.
Yeah, quite a lot of things. I actually went up to the Greyfriars graveyard a few times myself, and actually did I left it. I don't know, it disappeared, so I don't know if somebody took it or if they took it down. I actually did a bit of spell working, and I actually did like it was an old-fashioned sigil, and I printed it off and put oils and things on it for that, and tied it on the gates of the Covenanters prison. And I went back the next time and it was gone. So I don't know whether or not it was removed or whether somebody just went, oh, that looks cool, I'll take that. I don't know. But it had a covenant. I made a Covenanter's key. So it was for you know, the prison there and stuff. But I do agree with some things you were saying. I did watch some of your videos when you're up there, and I do think that a lot of times people listen too much what's history and what is not, back of the olden times of all the people that are buried in that place. Because what I found, hi Lauren, what I found is that back in the day, people that were of land and title and had a bit of authority, that's what people had to listen to.
Yeah.
I
mean, I know that he was a bad person to do what he did to all those people and things. I'm talking about Mr. George Mackenzie. But you've got to remember as well, there is also other big people in the cemetery as well. I mean, you've got a lot of people that's like shipyard builders, like the what you call them, the matriarch of the family and things. So all those people roaming around that cemetery with all those big egos also adds to the energy of the place. Because if anybody that knows Greyfriars at all, when you walk in and you walk right round past Mr. Mackenzie's grave, you've got the shipbuilders, head of the shipbuilders there, you've got architects and things, and it's all outside the Covenanters prison. So to me, that makes a kind of bit of, no a portal as such, but it makes like an energy. So
an energy suit.
Yeah, I think that's also what adds to the energy of the Covenanters prison, is that energy that just swirls outside the gate.
Another place I went to as well, I used to live right beside it before I moved, which was a place called Bangor Village Hospital. And it used to be a hospital built in the 1800s, and it was for military TB patients. And it was also a mental health hospital at one time too. And I used to go down there all the time. There's a couple of videos on my channel somewhere about a few times I went down there. I never took any gadgets or anything with me. The only time I've ever taken anything's been a dictaphone.
Right.
But sometimes I'll hear things and I'm not quite sure. And then when I listen back the video, somebody told me when I went up to the Witches Knowe in Mid Calder, it's an execution site for the Calder witches.
Right.
And I felt something, but I didn't hear anything. And when I listened back the video, I could hear something in the video. Because I don't have the equipment, you see.
We need to go there then, Lors. We definitely need to go there, and we'll see what we can get up that direction. To let you understand, guys, Lors doesn't stay October Rain Rock. Sorry, doesn't stay too far away from me, so we will be doing things in the future. Keep a little eye out.
Yeah, when it gets warmer.
Yeah, even when it gets a bit warmer,
I know somebody asked me, did you stop doing paranormal investigations or you wait until it gets warmer? And I'm like, well, it's going to have to get warmer because a lot of places, there's another lady that told me of some places to go to, but they're at a good distance from me to begin with. But if there's snow and stuff like that, you can't get up the mountain sometimes and go do that stuff. And I want my vehicle close enough that if we're
you
out,
can run it.
yeah, well, and I'm not worried about spirits. I'm worried about people that are out there hiding behind trees and stuff
I
like
think
that.
more in Bigfoot or something up your area.
Yeah, so it's like I want to be able to run to my van if I need her. Lee says, see, my husband, he goes, but he's my security for the van. He doesn't do anything paranormal. He don't want nothing to do with anything paranormal, okay? Lord forbid if a spirit steps in his house, it's going to be our secret because he will never be told. He will want to move. So he's my van security. So he stays in the van. And he says, if I see y'all running this way, I'm locking the door because he don't want nothing to get in.
Why do we have partners that seem to know like paranormal? William's the same. We'll walk around a cemetery with you and hold the light, but if I see anything, I'm running.
Yeah. See, look, Lady Grave Dancer, her husband won't go either. She's invited me to go to her house, and she said, if we go do anything, we'll just, leave the husbands at home. But he's a man, because I do have a lot of devices and instruments. It don't do no good for me to see something if nobody else can see it. Especially if you're doing an investigation in somebody's house. They want proof. They want to hear things. They want to see things. They want to see the devices going off. They want to see the words. And so I have way more devices than I have hands. I even have a team and I have more devices than that.
It's a K2 I want. I want a K2. I've not had a K2 yet. That'll be my next thing I buy, I think, is a K2.
Yeah, I'm needing my
no, not a K2,
a thermo. The what?
A REM pod. I've got a K2. It's a REM pod. I
think I've got like 6 or 7 REM pods to put around. Then I've got one that you can put in the room, and it's a 360 deal, and you just sit it in there. You can close the door, and if anything moves in there, it's loud, and you're going to hear it. It's just not a little like it's like the music deal, and you're going to end up hearing it. But
Christopher, that would be good for the abandoned mansion because there's that many rooms and things in it. That would be good for that.
Yeah, so that's why I have all those others. But I got a deal too that like on your channel, I've heard some of them say, well, you don't really need that many devices, or that they get intimidated maybe. With the devices. But if you bring them out one at a time, and I've heard you say and explain what it is, that they're not going to be afraid, because they don't know. If they died 100 years ago, they're not going to know what that is. But there's one of them. Yeah, see, I never say, and I watch a lot of paranormal videos, and they all to each their own. I don't want nobody touching me. I hear them say, if you're here, touch me. I'm here to touch me. No, I say set off one of them devices, but don't touch me. I want my bubble. I want my light in my bubble. Okay,
I think it's for
but
other people's proof though as well. I mean, because you can sense them a little bit more than a lot of other people and you can see them as well. It's to let other people see that what you're experiencing is real, you know?
yeah, 'cause see, they want them to touch them so they know they have proof they're there.
Yeah.
Like you said, I see them. I don't need proof that they're there. I just want the devices to show other people that they're
But have you
there.
found though that if you're in an older location, say you're in somewhere that's a bit older and they didn't have electricity at the time, I find that a lot of the time when you bring out the stuff that flashes, not even necessarily the stuff that makes a noise, but the stuff that flashes, I think the spirits, if you're in like an abandoned mansion of the Victorian times or something, or a castle, they tend to stay right away from it. But that's logical because if you think about it, you had fire away back then and different things like that only ever was threatening. So it's understandable that if you bring out a device straight away that's lighting up and flashing, the spirits are not going
Yeah.
to talk to you the rest of the night.
Yeah,
So
or have the
please,
antennas. Yeah, or
Yeah.
have the antennas. They're going to think it's something that's going to shock them. So you touch it, you know, it's okay. You can touch it. It's not going to shock you.
Yeah,
But I have a
they wanna do
device
that.
that I bought, and it's like a okay, you know how some investigators will say if you need energy, pull it off my camera.
Yeah.
Well, I've gone to investigations and I have 20 batteries and gone through all 20 of them. So I don't want to
Yeah.
mess it with my camera.
No,
But
of
I got
course not.
another device and I forget what it's called.
Is it the coil?
And you sit it in a room and it kind of like vibrates.
Is it the Tesla coil? The Tesla coil? No.
And it kind of vibrates, and what you do is you direct the spirits if they need energy to pull it off of that, because it's like a double whammy for energy.
Right.
That way they can leave your normal devices alone and they can pull it off of that device. I really like that because then they leave your camera, your
Like
cell
cameras and
phone,
things alone.
all of that alone. Because I've been down a haunted holler by myself, and whatever was there that told me to run, and it didn't just say run, it said run like that.
Well, okay, no problem.
Well, the thing is, I'm hard of hearing, and I didn't hear it. It told me that the wind was gusting. It powered my phone up. It completely killed my phone, wouldn't come on. But when I was like, well, I guess I better go back. I'm out here in the middle of nowhere by myself. Lee was worried I'd get eaten by a bear or a coyote or something because we have them out. We have bears in our backyard. And so he made me promise not to do that again. Well, when I got home and charged it up and then listened back, I was like, oh crap. Because I didn't hear it. But so I don't want to mess it with my phone and my devices. Yeah, but that other thing, I mean, I couldn't I didn't have it with me at that time, but
Oh, great question, Dobby Sock. Dobby Sock's got a question, sis. Do you want to read it or do you want me to read it?
Question to all. On your investigation, have any of you stumbled upon a cult performing dark magic rituals? How did you cope?
Not yet, I haven't.
I haven't, but at the same time, a lot of times you don't really know if it's dark magic. They could because it could be just a group like a coven out there, maybe doing a protection prayer out in the dark, and a lot of people think because it's in a cemetery or someplace like that. Now they're got somebody tied up to a tree. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that's different.
Babies.
Yeah, so I always say I haven't, but at the same time, I have to also think of the way that witches also work when they're doing protection and stuff. And they do the pentagram and all of that. If you see almost every paranormal investigation, they run across a pentagram, they automatically, the witches, Satanists, they're Satan people, they're doing bad juju stuff. But that doesn't mean that they could be doing protection.
It's like the video there was a video that Haunted Finders put out, and I do believe it was Shadowhunters UK and Moxley and a couple of others. And in the trees of this forest, there was like balls hanging down, and they looked like witches' balls that maybe had some herbs in them. whatever. There was 3 or 4 of them, but instantly they were worried about them and didn't know if to go any further. And I was saying in the comments, but they could be to protect the area. Don't always go. I didn't say this part in the comments, but talking now, I'm saying don't always go straight to this is something that is bad. It could be something that is hanging in the trees to help heal that specific tree.
Right.
Or anything at all. It could be 1,000 things.
That's exactly right. So if I ever walked up, the first thing I'd probably be is like, because I don't know. But then you gotta like pay attention or to see exactly what they're doing, because things can always be reversed too. But October, have you ever come up on anything like that?
I've never come across anything but not like that. But normally, I don't know about you, but if something's a bit off, my heckles go up. I get this like electric feeling.
Yeah.
And I get it in my gut as well. And then when I get that tends to mean stay clear of the area or whatever. I might not necessarily be seeing anything in the physical. So, you know, I've never come across anybody or any people who have been doing anything out in the open, to my knowledge anyway.
I think if I did come across something like that, I would watch them for a couple of minutes.
Right.
I would wait till they took a break, or if they walked away and kind of regrouped, and I would approach them and I would ask. I wouldn't go and hide or try and interact with them. I would go and ask them questions, and I would say, "Hello, my name is Andrina."
Well, I don't know if I'd go that far and go ask them, because I don't know. I'd be watching them from a distance first.
And I'd say, and if they were Satanists, I would say, "Can I interview you?" If they were Satanists, I swear I would ask to interview them, and I would leave all their names out.
Yeah, because that could be like Dobby said. Yes, I think. Let me see him here. Who put Dobby Socks? Yes, they were just gifts. So, you know, it could be offerings, it could be anything, but I've yet not gone anywhere where I seen a pentagram or something like that I could actually say on camera, okay, everybody, don't panic. This doesn't mean it's something bad.
Yep.
You know, and try to put that out there, you know, also.
On the contrary, I've seen more positive things than negative things. Like there's a lot of people leave love stones around here where they write little messages and blessings, and they'll put them all over the place, and you find them. And when you find them, you're supposed to do one back and leave it somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yep.
Anybody else get any questions, guys?
Let's see. Dobby Socks, Drew, you're a bit too brave.
Too brave.
Honestly, I would. Especially if I was with other people and people knew I was there, because they're not really going to start cutting you up and sacrificing you, are they? Really?
Hope not.
Oh, dear.
Anybody else got any questions or anything?
The earlier comment that LF King mentioned.
Oh, where is it? I lost. Which one?
Further up.
I live in Edinburgh, so go often to Greyfriars Kirk. My son, when he was about 5, said there was a man watching us from by the crypt. We were the only folk there.
Oh, wow, LF King. I don't know if that was a question. I was just reading that.
Yeah,
but that's interesting, Lauren.
Is this the question? Hello again. Just popped back, and I was wondering if any of you belong to a coven and what the entails. I have to experience of witchcraft, Lors, and another friend are the only folk I know.
Well,
where'd you find all that at?
That's up a couple of ones up above.
Who put it? I'm trying to find it.
LF King.
The same person, Lauren.
Is
it's above Uncle.
One?
There you go.
Yes.
Is it that one? Okay.
That's...
Oh, I had that one on there earlier, and then I took it off.
Well,
Okay.
we've got a kind of coven going just now. I mean, the thing was, last year, I get fed up with being up myself on screen talking about witchcraft and things. So, and I realised that a lot of our witchy sisters don't really like coming up on screen. So I opened up, it's not even really a witchy coven as such. It's a safe place that we can all go, us sisters, and maybe introducing brothers to it eventually. But where we can all go and no worry about cameras, no worry anything. We can just all sit there because there's people from all around the world in it. So we just all sit there, share things, and have a good old jolly time. So it is a coven because we've got that sisterhood there. So that's the only experience I've had though with a coven.
Yeah, I'm the same. I've not had any. I've always been solitary. Plus, I think as well, when you're in a coven where you're all drawing from different types of practices as well, like the chances are that if you're in a coven as well, you're not maybe all directly going from the same path, if you like. I know some covens do, like, you know, will all be under the same kind of pantheon, you know, like whatever. But I think it's kind of interesting when you get people from all different sort of witchy walks of life, if you like. I think you can learn a lot from one another.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's why I always say it's not really a coven as such, because it's not where anybody's in ranks.
No.
Me, I run it, yes, but I only run it. Everybody in it is absolutely equal, you know?
Yeah, and we all learn from each other on what works, what don't work. You know, just because we say how something worked for us doesn't mean it's going to work for them, but it gives them a foundation to start, you know, to start working with. But we're just Drew's crew. I don't even know. It's not really a
using
coven.
my
It's just Drew's crew.
Yeah, using my Drew's crew.
Okay, let's see. Did I
love
miss
you guys.
anything? I know she used to feel when she couldn't come on. She was like, "Oh, Mr. Good Love and Light, I feel so bad because you were waiting." And
I
I'm
know,
like,
I always feel
and
bad.
I would say that's okay because I would tell my husband, "Just coming on, just coming on." And I set my alarm, and then I check, and then it says sorry, and I said she's not coming on. He's like, "She's not coming on, or she's not coming on."
Oh, I know, I feel bad when I do things like that. It's
Well, because you have
really busy.
you have a life and you have a lot going on.
I know, but so have you. So from now on, I don't put the lives up until I know in my heart that they're going ahead.
Well, remember, next week on Tuesday, you have to plan on this because I'm going to have to put a post on it for it.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. So,
But any of you guys are welcome on my channel too. Like if there's anybody that wants to, anybody at all that wants to come on and, you know, have a wee chat about you know, their path or anything, that's totally cool. I've not been on my channel in a while because of a bunch of stuff going on with the housing and all the rest of it, but I'm trying to get back in there and get some new content up. But I didn't want to just post willy-nilly. I wanted to have something kind of interesting to put up, not just, oh, this is the housing situation.
Why don't you go live or something then, and we'll all come over and we'll support you like we did tonight with Mystical Love and Light.
Yeah, because Drew worked me through this. Oh my God, all the text back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and me asking questions and her answering, and me asking questions and her answering.
I'm just happy I've got another sister to go live with as well, so I'm over it.
Thanks, Lauren.
One happy little witch here.
Is there any topics you would like to see me do on my channel?
Yes, I would like you to share more about the kind of what you do with the sea and things. I want to know more about that with the waters and the sea.
Okay. There's plenty of that around me. So yeah, I go down to Blackness Castle and South or North Queensferry usually.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd definitely like to see more about how your witchy fits in with the sea and things. I mean, I know typically it'll be water and emotion and that type of thing, but I've never really knew a witch that worked with like the sea and that type of thing. So that's why I'm only saying the sea, because I don't know what else it entails. So definitely please share more of that, Lord.
Yeah, okay.
I have a creek next to my house, so if I work with anything, it's gonna be a creek.
Me too, I've got the Nathan.
Which right now it's pretty much flooded
Oh dear.
with all the rain and everything we've been having. But
So what
Drew's
about the
been
weather,
kind of,
sis? Is it
huh?
okay? Is the weather calming down any over there?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's coming down a whole lot. But Drew's been trying to get me on live for a while, and it's just been one thing after another, just
I know.
snowballing. So, but we finally got it. Yes. What do you
We did
say,
it.
Drew? Whoop whoop.
Whoop, 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 whoop. We did it, guys. We
And I'm
did
like,
it.
yeah.
Sister's got the rotor in her.
Have you got
Lovely
snow
light.
down? Have you got snow, Drew, just now, or is yours all melted?
Yeah, just a little bit. It's no nothing. It's not actually anything. It's just where it fell down and it's no lifted yet because it's so cold.
Yeah,
But
that's
it's
true.
practically nothing. It's just a blanket on the ground. It's no like an inch thick or 2 inch thick or anything.
Perfect
The
for
trouble
doing
with-
unintentional ice skating on your bum. That's what I do all the time.
Yeah, the trouble here we were having, it was snow, and then it would freeze, and then the next morning it'd be black ice, and you couldn't see the
know.
ice. Then it would snow again, and then it would freeze, and it was just like on top of each
Each other.
other.
Have you
Mhm.
Yeah,
ever
so I'm
done
all,
black ice scrying?
Oh, never thought of that.
never even thought about it,
It's
but
cold.
I don't think I want to get out there on the road and do that.
No,
though.
me either. I think I'll just hang
Yeah.
over my sink.
Now there's a place at a volcano that we would go to, and it had some big chunks of the. I want to say it was not black tourmaline, obsidian maybe. It was real shiny,
That's the one that's like coal.
and it was like shiny. And I thought the next time I go, I'm gonna get some pieces of those. And I can, because everything I get, I try to sell because I'm always thinking how to make money. And so I thought next time I'll get it and I can sell it for that very reason for scrying. Baby girl.
I just I used to go where I used to live. I'm just getting used to where I am now, but I used to go into the forest when it was really icy, and I would scry with the black ice in the forest, like
Keep talking
on the
girl.
ground.
That's okay, sis. On you go. That'd be interesting. Anything you want to share, Lars, just share it. Because I mean, even though we might say, "Oh, I want to hear a bit more about the ocean and things," there's other people that maybe want to see absolutely everything. So basically, just start from the beginning and share everything in your path.
That's what I would
Yeah.
do.
I mean,
And
I've
if you
got like
want to go live, just let us know. You know?
I've got playlists on my channel for different things, and then I've got playlists for the different deities I work with. And then there's a list where it's a mixture of different things to do with the craft, like from candle magic to like what I do when I'm burning a candle and it gets to the end of a spell. I'll use the little disc of wax and carve a sigil in it, and then so that there's no wax left at all, and I can completely use all the candle, so there's no waste.
Good stuff. There you go. Brilliant. That's definitely true, though, but we all take our own time and our own pace. So don't you worry, Suze.
Yep.
Any more questions, guys?
It takes time. There's no rush. At the end of the day, as I've said, Suze, before, you just have to take everything at your own pace, and there's no rush, and you just go day by day.
Yeah, that's it. And
Right.
when you
And
see things, see if you see things and you're maybe in a shop or somewhere lying in and outside, pick it up, because for all you might think, oh, I don't need that, why am I lifting it up? It will come into fruition later on, maybe a couple of months down the line, why you picked it up, because I've found a lot of things and I'm wondering, why have I got this? And then sure as anything, a couple of months down the line, I'll use it. So always be on the lookout for things that you're drawn to, because there is a reason. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. That's when you see stuff back here. It's because I forge stuff. if I go somewhere and I see something new, oh, what is that? Then I'm going to get it. I'm going to dry it out. For the people that say they don't know how, Drew, I've heard you say this, that you know what it looks like dried, but you don't know what it looks like out in the forest or out in the
Yes.
mountains or in the woods or
Yes.
whatever. Okay, you have your phone.
Uh-huh.
You have Google on your phone. You use Google
Mhm.
Lens. You take a
Yeah.
picture of it. It's going to tell you what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Right.
Yes, it's going to tell you what that flower is, what that stem is, what that tree is, what the leaf is. It's going to tell you. Take a picture of it, okay? Save it, because when you do it on Google Lens, it's going to go away. So
Right.
save the picture of it,
Uh-huh.
take it home, dry it out, jar it, and then look it up and see what the properties are on it. That
Brilliant.
way you have jars, because just because you pick it at that time doesn't mean that you need it, but you will eventually need it.
Mhm.
You will need it. And then you start getting your stuff together and you start learning. Then once you start doing more workings or putting stuff in your candles, dressing your candles, anointing your candles, then you have more ingredients to work with it, to put your intentions into it.
Brilliant.
But use your Google Lens. That is a great way of. I even did a short
Never thought
video.
about that.
I did a video on my channel too on it,
Right.
showing how to do that for people that didn't know.
I must
Because
have
I'm
missed
always
this.
and Lee, he'll be on the truck. He'll be in a completely different state. He'll take a picture and send it to me and say, "Do you have this?"
Oh
So
wow.
that so he's always looking for me too, because this state doesn't have everything. Since he goes
Mhm.
all over the whole country, he's always looking out for me so that I can have stuff that I can't just easily get from here.
And Lee makes beautiful statues, guys. Honestly, he makes little. I've not even got my witch here. She's upstairs. He makes little witches, and he makes toadstools, and
Well,
oh
there's
my goodness, caricatures,
right
anything.
here behind me. I don't know if you can see them. Where are they? Hold on. Look.
The ones that you have probably seen my little Freya. Oh, good night, Lauren. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks.
Look, is that not just amazing? An old crone. It's beautiful. Lee sent me one a couple of months back. I was totally privileged. I'll cherish her forever. See, that one's nice. Oh, they're lovely.
Yeah, I wild gather all the time. That's where I put. I mean, obviously you're going to need things like candles, and sometimes I make candles. Oh, cool.
See, that's interesting, isn't it? Because you can use that in your workings.
Yeah, I wild gather a lot. Everything from different types of waters to like in the certain times of year, I make my own like healing oil and balm. The easiest one I found to make is just with the common daisy.
Right.
You just pick the heads off the daisies, put them in a jar, use your carrier oil, whatever that may be, and then put it in a cupboard for 4 to 6 weeks, depending how strong you want it. And then you've got your oil, so you can use the oil on its own, or you can use the oil and make a salve or a balm with it by using beeswax or shea butter.
Right. Wow. I've always needed to start getting into doing things like that. Maybe when I'm not as busy, I will do it when the kids are out the home and things. I mean, when Liam's finally left the house.
Well, you can walk around outside your house and get stuff from your house.
I definitely will.
Yep.
Hi,
but
Cam.
that's how I started out, and then I would even ask my spirit. I would tell my spirit, well, I need this or I need that, where can I find them at? And I would be driving and they'd say, pull over, pull over, pull over. And my whole jar of bones that I have up there, my spirit told me, pull over, pull over. I didn't even know why I was pulling over. So I pulled over and I'm like, what am I looking for? And they're like, well, get out. So I get out and I walk maybe 20 steps and there's a whole carcass of bones that had been there, looked like for years and years. They were already like bleached from being in the sun year after year after year. So I did a prayer over them, thank the animal, and say I was
Welcome,
going to
Mama,
use,
Mara.
their bones, and I picked them up. So,
Might as
you
well.
know,
Sis.
always get forage what you can, even though you don't need it at that moment. I guarantee you're going to need it in the future. You
Yeah.
just don't know it at that
Exactly.
time.
Mhm. Lift everything and jar it.
If you ever
Yeah.
need any jars or vials or anything, Drew, I've got loads. I've got like little salve jars. I've got lip balm tubes. I've got mason jars. So if you ever need any, let me know.
It says,
I will do. Thank you very much.
I do my own lip glosses. They
See,
have
that's
stone. They have
interesting.
stones in them. See the stone?
Definitely check out Mystical Love and Light shop, guys, on our channels. I'm on to this is your channel.
That's all right. The link is always below. Only it's not on here on the live, but
Sorry,
it's on all
guys,
my
I'm not
others.
used to it being my channel. I'm forgetting we're actually on Mystical Love and Light's channel.
Well, we're gonna do this a few times on my channel. We're gonna jump to her channel. We're just gonna
Sorry,
jump
guys.
back and forth. I think the first three I'll have here because that was you.
Yeah,
October. It's gonna be Drew, and then it's gonna be Danny, and then after that we'll jump on yours, and
We'll
then
definitely stay
I
the
talked
Tuesday
to-
on yours.
I talked to Tequila. Tequila's gonna come on too on the stories. Yeah, because she's got a lot. You know how she's got a lot of stories to tell. So
Yeah.
she'll do the stories.
She's a love Lady Grave Dancer, guys. She's a lover.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get her up for years. She's just so busy. And the
I
time
know.
difference in Scotland is crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but-
she's a busy lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she said she would, and she just can't do it on a Thursday. So I already
I
know
know.
that.
Yeah.
And so it's got to be on a day that all three of us can get together.
And I don't
do it
mind
on.
whatever time of day or night it is, I will make it.
Yeah.
Anything to talk to Mystical Love and Light, of course, you, sis. But anything to talk to Lady Grave Dancer.
Okay. Yeah, to me it don't matter either. Now I don't do it like on the weekend. On the weekends, since I do like a lot, not so much right now in the cold, but since I sell all the stuff on eBay, that's where I go out
Yeah,
doing
you
all
have
my
to do
thrifting and reselling stuff. But
Yeah.
he's here on most of the time. He'll be here on like Friday or Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So I don't do it on those because when you have your husband right there, it's kind of hard, because I don't care what you're doing, they're gonna need you for something.
Exactly. That's
So-
how I think it's hard with a teenager in the house and all. I'm just trying to find out where he is, and he's still at a bus stop in Hamilton.
Yeah. So for me, it's always like Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday is good. And I know Lady Grey Dancer can't do it Thursday because that's where she comes on with Crescent Moon.
That's right.
On
She's got her show.
on theirs where they bounce back and forth on each channel. So we'll just have to get with her and see when they can do it.
Yeah.
We will definitely do it sometime.
Oh, Dobby Sock says Deborah Haswell from BBR is great investigator to chat with on cryptids in particular. Okay, so anybody that is in the chat or you know somebody that wants to come on with these questions, or the other one that we're going to do that we're talking about, like with Lady Grave Dancer and with Danny, is going to be for them to come on the channel and tell any kind of paranormal, any kind of like cryptids. Well, Bigfoot's kind of a cryptid, but
Just anything strange.
anything, any kind of story that they have actually experienced themselves, not hearsay, but that they can tell their own story.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them to, they can email me on all my other videos, not the lives, but the other videos. I have my email address. They can email me and we can set up a time. It can be either on Drew's channel or my channel, since we're flip-flopping back and forth, to come on and tell their story.
Mm-hmm. We will be here at Mystical Love and Light's channel, guys, for the foreseeable future on a Tuesday. Just so that you do get used to coming into her channel and things as well. So we will be here for the foreseeable future. I hate having that tooth missing. It makes me go.
If it's missing, just put your cigarette right there and then you don't have to hold it.
A false tooth.
Oh dear.
Yeah, there you go.
Hello, guys.
Oh,
Remember, smash that like button.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't
That's
forget to hit
awesome.
the like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and all that good stuff.
Subscribe
But
to each
yeah,
other, guys.
if y'all want to come on, just hit me up on email or Drew, either one, and we will
Either
definitely
of us.
get you on.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I want to have this like a regular thing for everybody to tell about their path and for everybody to tell about their stories. And because it's amazing what people, have gone through and, their stories and stuff like that. I talked to a full spirit, I was a full body apparition and didn't even know it because I see them all the time and they're right in front of me and I talked to them. I said, I'll be right with you. And then she just disappeared. She was all in the, like the 1880s clothes. But see, it didn't matter because the store I worked in was an old stagecoach stop. And they converted it into a store, the owners at the place that I worked at. And that's the kind of clothes we sold. And we sold them to the movies and, all the Westerns and stuff like that. So I just was thinking it was a customer, and I told her I'd be right with her, staring straight at her like I'm looking at y'all. And then she just poof, disappeared in front of me. I was like, well, dang it. But I was always seeing them all the time that sometimes I can't differentiate between,
what?
That's
between interesting. We'll need to interview you, Mystical Loving Light.
What?
Right, okay, so you're interviewing me next week and then Uncle Danny. So what about the following week we interview you on your channel?
Well, why don't I do me on your channel?
Yeah, we could do that then if you want. People used to come into your channel on a Tuesday. So we'll definitely interview you as well then. We'll set that up for the next week or two.
Well, we
could do
Mystical. That's fine.
You could do Mystical Mondays.
Well, I don't do Mondays because my husband is here on Mondays.
Yeah.
And I can guarantee you he's not going to want anything until I leave the area. He's like, hi, I'm hungry. Where are you?
Yeah, I know it well.
And I don't mind it because I only get to see him a few days. So I try to give him all my attention on the few days he's here since he's he drives a truck and he's gone in different states. And so when he's gone, I don't get to see him all that time except over the phone. And then when he's home, we try to do things together. Even if it's just sitting on the couch, watching TV or something. Well, he watches TV. I don't watch the TV. But I can get my phone and play games on it while he's watching TV.
But you're to accompany each other though, spending time together.
Yeah, exactly. So Tuesdays will probably be the best for right now. But
yeah, Tuesdays it is. We'll stick to Tuesdays, guys.
Okay. So then the fourth week you're gonna do me? Oh,
yes.
That doesn't sound right. You're gonna interview me.
Yes, I'll interview you.
Yeah, you interview me on the fourth week.
Yes, I'll interview you, sister.
I'll be like, honey, I'm sorry, but Joe's gonna do me, so you're out of line.
Oh dear.
Okay, so I'm gonna read some of these comments. Let's see, these ladies, what? Kim M. These three ladies have a lot of knowledge between them. Yeah. Then you put Danny and Sherry in there. That's a powerful team. Yeah, and see, sometime we can have a live and have them.
Yeah, we'll have Sherry up. Sister's just busy right now, so we'll get her up when she's less busy for sure. Yeah. So she can add to the witchy interviews.
So let's see.
Oh, Dobby's saying that Deborah Hadswell from BBR is a great investigator to chat with, and she does cryptids in particular. So I've said to her, maybe we can get her up.
Yeah, that's what made me mention that because I read that. I lost it again, but October, can you see that? October, can you see the chat?
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. Yeah, I have read that. Why I mentioned. So, anybody else got anything? I don't want to keep y'all too long, but hey, we're getting views.
That's it.
Has everybody hit the like, thumbs up, like?
Oh yes, they're actually doing
And
good.
if you didn't like it, we're gonna know it, okay?
But remember, we're witches.
Yeah,
We can be
that's
witches.
like I had sold 2 bottles of the psychic oil that I make, on Etsy. Okay, now get this. If you're gonna do something, don't do it to someone that knows what they're doing. Okay, so she was scamming me, but I just let it go and I gave her a full refund. Okay, so she
Okay.
sent me a message and says she received the bottles. Okay, great. She received the bottles because I always put on there if you receive, your item, everything is good. Hit me up with the 5 stars. Okay.
Right. Okay.
So she lets me know that she received it. Okay. Then she comes back and then says the 2 bottles were leaking. Okay, so she hadn't mentioned that. So I was like, okay, what I'll do is I will just go ahead and make you 2 more bottles and I will ship it to you on my cost. I'll ship it to you. Be nice. Okay. The next day she sends me a message and says, I didn't receive the items. So I'm like, but you said you already
I'm not the seller
received
for
them.
you then, sorry. Nice to have your business. Don't mail
Now
me
I
again.
went ahead and just gave her a full refund. And I'm like, out of all people, you're gonna do that. Now, she was better off just me sending her 2 more bottles.
Exactly. So you were just
And then
being
she could
nice
have
and
sold
good
them to her
customer
friends,
service.
But
Yeah.
I'm just like, people out there try to scam you left and right. I don't have too much issues with it, but I'm like, if you're gonna do that, don't do that to somebody that knows what they're doing. Don't be doing that.
When they get another oil, don't order again.
Yeah.
Or there could be a little extra ingredient in there.
It's like, okay, if I put my intent into it to work, I can put my intent into it for it not to work after the fact. So maybe when she puts it on her little forehead and in her
Maybe a
ear,
little water just grow there.
She gonna get a hell of a headache.
Yeah. Or she could end up with the biggest wart ever.
It's like, oh Lord have mercy. But
Yeah.
I was just like, and I messaged her back and I said, but you already said you received it. And I made a copy of it and I sent it to her. And she messaged back and said, I didn't receive it. Like if she didn't even see the thing, I was just like, whatever. I just gave her full refund and been done with it.
That's it. Okay.
I guarantee you I'll remember that name though.
Yeah, well, that's it.
But,
no more orders, please.
Yep. Well, I guess if nobody else has got any questions for October or even Drew,
keep my questions for next week, guys.
Yeah, because we want to find out. We want to find out on the one about the juju thing from her.
Yes, yes. I've got a few little stories I'll share.
All right. Well, we thank everybody for being in the chat. We thank our special guest, which is October, and my Drew. I've kind of taken ownership of you, Drew.
I don't mind.
Thank you, everybody, for coming in to the chat and watching. Okay, so I guess we're gonna end it here. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome.
Thank you for coming, guys. Thank
Bye.
You.
Bye.
Bye. And end broadcast.